What would you do if you were camping with friends and suddenly in the middle of the night, you had to cut your way out of your own tent and run into freezing snow, barefoot in minus 30 degrees Celsius? Sounds like a horror movie, right? But this is not a movie. This is real, and it happened in 1959 in the snowy mountains of Russia. Today, we're going deep in one of the creepiest, coldest, and most mysterious unsolved cases in history. The Dyatlov Pass mystery. It all started in 1959 in a cold part of Russia called the Ural Mountains. A group of 9 friends planned a hiking trip. They were young students from a university. They were smart, strong, and experienced hikers. The leader of the group was Igor Dyatlov. That's why this strange story is now called the Dyatlov Pass mystery. The group had 7 boys and 2 girls. They were excited, happy, and ready for adventure. They packed warm clothes, food, cameras, a journal, and a tent. Their goal was to reach a mountain called Otorten, which means don't go there in the local language. Creepy name, right? But they didn't listen to the name. They went anyway. The hikers started their trip in late January. At first, everything was fine. They took many photos and wrote in their journal every day. They smiled, laughed, and walked through deep snow. One hiker named Yuri Yudin became sick and left the group early. That decision saved his life. He was the only one who survived. The other 9 hikers continued. On February 1st, they reached a mountain called Kolitsyakal, which means dead mountain. Again, creepy name. There was a snowstorm, and the weather became very bad. So they set up their tent on the side of the mountain and went to sleep. That was the last time anyone saw them alive. Days passed. Families waited. No letters, no messages. Everyone became worried. So a search team was sent to find them. What they found shocked the world. The tent was cut from inside. The rescue team first found the hiker's tent. It was not damaged from the outside. It was cut from the inside, as if the hikers were trying to escape something quickly. But the strangest part? They ran into the snow barefoot. Some were only wearing socks, or just one shoe. Imagine running into minus 30 degrees Celsius snow without clothes. It made no sense. Then, one by one, the bodies were found. What happened to the bodies? The first 2 hikers were found under a tree. They had no shoes and were only in their underwear. Their hands were burned, like they were trying to start a fire to survive. 3 more bodies were found between the tree and the tent. They looked like they were crawling back to the tent, but died on the way. Now comes the most mysterious part. 2 months later, the last 4 bodies were found deeper in the snow. These bodies were damaged very badly. One girl was missing her tongue. One person had no eyes. Some had cracked skulls and broken ribs, but there were no wounds outside, no blood, no cuts. It looked like they were crushed by something heavy but soft, like a car crash, but with no car. Also, their clothes had radioactive material. What really happened that night? No one knows for sure. But over the years, many strange and chilling theories have come out. Some believe it was an avalanche. The idea sounds simple. A sudden rush of snow buried the hikers, and they ran out of the tent to save themselves. But experts say this is unlikely. The tent was still standing, and the hikers' footprints were clearly visible in the snow. If it was truly an avalanche, everything should have been buried and destroyed. Another theory is wild animals. Maybe some dangerous creature attacked them. But again, there were no bite marks on the bodies. And animals don't remove tongues and eyes so cleanly. It just didn't match any known animal attack. Then there's the military test theory. Some people believe the Russian military was secretly testing weapons in that area. Maybe the hikers accidentally saw something they weren't supposed to see. Maybe they were caught in some kind of explosion or force. But the government never accepted this. They kept everything quiet. One of the most bizarre theories? UFOs. Some photos found in the hikers' cameras showed strange lights in the sky. The unexplained injuries, the missing eyes, the radiation on the clothes, all of it led people to think, could this be something not from Earth? And then there's the infrasound theory. A scientist explained that strong winds in that area could have created a low-frequency sound. Humans can't hear it, but it can affect the brain, cause panic, confusion, and and fear. Maybe the hikers suddenly felt terror for no reason and ran out into the snow, not knowing what they were doing. It's possible, but again, no one knows for sure. All of these are just theories, and none of them can fully explain what happened that night in the Dyatlov Pass. Even today, more than 60 years later, no one knows the full truth. The Dyatlov Pass mystery is still unsolved. Imagine 9 smart, strong hikers run into the snow in the middle of the night, barefoot, half naked. Some die with strange injuries. One loses her tongue, and the government closes the case quickly. Strange, right? If this was a movie, you'd say, too crazy to be real. But this is real. It happened, and no one knows why. The only survivor, Yuri Yudin, the one hiker who got sick and returned home. Yuri Yudin lived for many years. He always said, "If I had not turned back, I would have died too." He never believed the official story. Till the day he died, he said something strange happened that night, something we may never understand. Even after all these years, the Dyatlov Pass mystery still leaves us with one question. What really happened that night? We may never know, but one thing's sure, 9 smart, strong hikers went into the snow, and something terrifying made them run for their lives. If this story chilled you, imagine what else is out there, waiting to be discovered. And let me know in the comments, what do you think happened at Dyatlov Pass? And remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that actually happened. Okay, if you enjoyed, so do like, share, and subscribe for more dark mysteries every week.